You good?
Hello, yes,
Yay!
finally.
Now I see you.
So sorry, everyone. Oh my gosh,
No
technical
worries.
issues always happen when you least expect
Yeah,
them. Yeah,
I know. I was just saying, we actually did a trial, we did a dry run, and it was all fine. And then when we get
exactly.
to the real deal, that's when it happens.
Yeah, and I'm new to Mac, so working from home, I've had to also pivot what the tech I use, and I've pivoted to Mac, and
Right.
still learning my way. But glad to be here. Thank you so much, Abita.
No worries, Faisal. All right. So I guess we'll just go right into the session.
Sure.
So can you probably just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your role as head of BD as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So firstly, thanks to everyone for joining in during these tough times. Like Shabita said, let's all play our part to stay safe and for the community. So a little bit about myself. I basically am the BD head for GoGet. So my team and I, we handle anything to do with sales, account management, and partnerships also. So over the last 2 years that I've been in GoGet, we have seen a good, healthier explosion of different sorts of industries using our platform. We have had growth in various verticals in our business, which I will share a bit later. And prior to this, I was in advertising. So anyone who's in advertising, I'm part of the crew, and also in land transportation. So a bit of a varied past. But yeah, that's a little bit of what I do in GoGet. I love football, so any football fans around, personally.
Which team do you support?
Man United. Yeah.
I see.
Yes.
Okay,
And
okay.
just waiting for the time for us to again, with no
Yeah,
quarantine. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Just a little bit about myself.
Cool. It'll probably take a little bit of time before we can all go back to traveling, definitely.
Yeah.
I think everyone will second that. But any little chance that we get to travel, but safe,
Yes.
I think we'll all be on top of that. So it's great to know that GoGet is doing well. There's a lot of different verticals that you guys have grown. I think there's a common conception that GoGet, what GoGet actually does. But I understand from your sharing with me, because what I've heard before is that you guys actually cover a lot of different verticals that people are not aware of. A lot of people are not aware of. So I'll allow you to go ahead and share with us about GoGet and what you guys do, and then we'll come back to the session where we talk a little bit about strategizing and research, I think.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And then I'll come back in once you're done.
Okay. Yeah. So just for everyone, I've prepared a little light presentation, hopefully to give you guys a taste of who we are, what we do. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. Yep. Just a shout from Shabita if it's okay.
Yep, good.
Okay, great. Okay, so before I jump into it, maybe just a bit of a background introduction to GoGet. We started off in 2014. And back then, it was the vision of our founders, Francesca and Fong, as well as Moaz, whereby they realized that tech was being more accessible, and more and more people have a mobile phone in their pockets. And since then, they had the vision like, hey, let's connect the city. If someone in the city needs help, I'm sure someone else out there who's connected to our platform can help them. Right. And ever since then, we have grown, not only just with that mindset, but we've also grown in terms of our user base, where today we serve over 300,000 users on our platform. We also have another community. So we are very much focused on the two communities that we serve. Our posters, be it the businesses, general Malaysians like Shabita and myself, and we also have our Go-Getters, right? The folks who are the ones carrying out the tasks on our platform. So we've been around for about 7 years, and we've been growing. MCO has been good for in terms of pivoting and understanding what the business landscape needs in the new norm, which I'll be sharing. All right. Yeah. So this is a little bit about GoGet. So on one side, the first community that we serve are our businesses and our posters, right? Those who use us on a daily basis for whatever task they need. So very simple. Over here, we try to help businesses scale their operations with just a few clicks, right? If I personally am using GoGet, I want to send Shabita a birthday cake, right? Or wanting a birthday cake, I can just use GoGet, book a GoGetter, and send that item over, right? Just like that. On the other side, our freelancers, those who perform tasks on our platform, they are called GoGetters, right? They actually have a name. So they look to GoGet as a platform for them to earn, right? Very trusted, a safe, secure network for them to boost their income or to have an income, a main source of income. So over here, there's a lot of tasks that they can do, right? That they can search on our platform so they can find their jobs. We've even gone on to boost services that we have for GoGetters, right? Where they can even save, they can earn, they can invest. We're also working together in the pipeline with EPF and SOPS for more enablement of our GoGetters. And there's just a wide variety of tasks that we already have on our platform, and it's growing on a daily basis. So this is just a little bit of background, the two communities that we serve, right? So for businesses in particular, we know, or most businesses have these four main departments: your logistics, your sales and marketing, your admin, and your ops, right? Generally, businesses would be made out of these four. Now, where we have grown from the day we started is that we realized that GoGetters can also help your business not only to send an item, but they can also help your business in terms of being your part-time pair of hands or many pairs of hands. So during this pandemic, we have seen a lot of warehouses or businesses which had surge of growth. They needed help in their warehouse or in their office to pick and pack. So GoGetters can be a picker and packer. Dispatch, as we all know, which has been one of the main bread and butter this last year and a half. General labor, moving bulky items. So you can already see the trend where people just need extra help to move things, to shift things. On the sales and marketing side, GoGetters can be a promoter. They can help you give out flyers during normal times. Of course, MCO, we would hesitate from talking to people or even giving out items, right? But during the normal times, GoGetters can do that for you. They can even be a sales agent, merchant acquisition, do surveys, right? Admin, so data entry. So for the finance folks on this call, you can imagine GoGetters doing data entry for you end of the year, drop your checks or do stamping, or just general delivering your documents or parcels to your counterparts. And lastly, for the folks who are in retail, right, you need help. Your staff is sick, they can't come in, they're blocked in a roadblock, EMCO. You can think of GoGetters as book someone to come into your shop the next day for retail staff, even to just be on general floor staff, right? Help you usher during normal times, or catering help. So the idea here is that GoGetters are not just your dispatcher, but we can actually serve basic needs of each of these departments, right? And that's where we are actually at today. So why GoGet? Firstly, we have a large network of GoGetters. We have over 30,000 right now. We have scaled throughout this MCO, throughout the many MCOs, and I'll share how we did so later. Every GoGetter is pre-screened and verified. We don't just onboard, give them a bag, let them access the app, off they go. Everyone needs to go through a training session, which is about 3 hours. They have to do a test. Only then can they access the GoGet app, right? We also take a lot of pains once they are doing jobs. We also have two measures to ensure quality, right? One of which is, of course, the bonuses, the rewards to ensure that they're happy doing more jobs and doing them well on our platform. But the second one actually is more on quality management, where we have a 3-strike policy. So if they're found to if GoGetters are doing things which they should not be doing, or serving customers badly, that's where we'll strike them. By the 3rd strike, they will be banned from the system. So this is some of the quality management systems that we have. And lastly, we help companies to save costs because you don't actually hire them on a full-time basis. So maybe some of you are on the call from these companies, but we serve over 5,000 businesses right now from our business community, right? Our poster community. So we serve the Petronases, the Tuntalks, the Celcoms, the very large MNCs, right? We serve Lazadas, so they are looking at us for warehouse help, right? Common Ground, which is another co-working space, and also Work, and also SMEs, where most of our businesses come from. So for just generally, if I were to sum up our service verticals, we have 3. We have dispatch, we have marketing help, and we have operational or part-time help, right? So I'll just touch on dispatch really quickly. So for dispatch on GoGet right now, you can just go into the GoGet app and just book a GoGetter to help you to send any item that you need. right? You can get go-getters into your office. You can get a go-getter within seconds, into your office within minutes, right? And then deliver the item, right? Especially if you're time poor or you're stuck in areas which you are not comfortable going out, our go-getters are there for you. Over the pandemic, we have seen a lot more businesses come on board, go online, and even create e-commerce platforms, right? Where they previously may not have had, right? And then this is where API integration will come in to help them automate a delivery process, especially for on-demand deliveries. So businesses can do things like next hour, same day schedule. They can schedule when a go-getter comes in to pick up and deliver an item. Bulk order. So this is where businesses can get a flat rate should they have volume as well. And lastly, everyone will get a tracking link when a go-getter is on the way. So this is just a little light touch on our dispatch and where we have seen a bit of demand come from, especially for our e-commerce partners. For marketing, go-getters can be your surveys, flyer distributors, sales agents, be it on ground or online. For my team, we actually run a team of 4 callers, sales agents, and they basically handle about 120 to 150 calls a day, inbound and outbound, right? They are trained, they are verified, and then they come in on a flexible arrangement. And lastly, you can even do training and onboarding of your partners. So these are some of our partners that are using us for marketing. So some companies which you may have seen before, Muslim Pro, they use go-getters to onboard halal restaurants. We have Amazing Grace who use go-getters as merchandisers. If even a large company like Petronas, they use us for surveyors and also for logistics previously as well. All right. So that is our marketing. Next is part-timers. So generally, go-getters can help you in your office or in your warehouse or for any operational purpose that you require. Banking checks, simple. Picking and packing is where we've seen more and more demand come in because companies couldn't really hire during this time. There were many blockers, but they could get go-getters really quickly, right? So they just needed to go to the app, post a job, and someone can come in the next day or even the next few hours. So picking and packing is something that we've seen increase during this time. Stock take inventory checks. For those of you who do annual stock takes, reconciliation, you can think of go-getters. Shopping for office pantry, when we go back to normal. And lastly, data entry, right? And anything else beyond this which you can think of. So that just gives a light touch on GoGet, who we are, where we have come from. The 3 services that we basically bucket, dispatch, marketing help, and operational help across the 4 departments in any company which would probably have these departments, right? So then I'll move on into the next part, which is just some very light sharing on how we actually navigated through the many MCOs that we've gone through, the things that we have learned, and the things that we have also built for a post-pandemic, the new norm, right? So just some thoughts or things which can help stimulate your own thinking for your own businesses. So firstly, when the first pandemic hit in 2020, March, right? Of course, everything was a shock to us. Businesses were scrambling. But the first thing we did as a team was we went back to our mission. Right? What is our mission? Our mission is, of course, on one side, the poster community where we have businesses and general users. We needed to empower them to grow or to help them without scaling their costs, right? Because at these times, businesses will have a lot of overheads, right, which are being pressured, and they need to cut costs and survive, right? So we had to empower these businesses. And on the other side, we have our go-getters. At that time in the first MCO, we only had about 10,000 go-getters. Right now we have 30, so we have scaled tremendously during that time. And we understand that we needed to empower these folks, these go-getters, to also earn flexibly from a solution, from a platform which was trusted, right? Because they needed their livelihoods, they needed to keep going and moving as well. So we had to go back to our guiding principles, right? We had to firstly be fast, reactive everything was moving at a pace which no one could understand, right? I'm sure many of us can relate to the many late nights that we had to work, right, just to push things out. So we were reactive, we updated, we worked hard to stay up to speed with whatever was happening outside. Transparent, we had to be very transparent to all our stakeholders, both sides of our communities, right, to ensure that they were up to date with whatever that was happening and whatever we can or cannot do. We had to be human, of course. Even though we're a business, we're a platform, but at the end of the day, we're also Malaysians, right? We had to make sure that we protect our communities as well, and then keep and stay positive as a team, right? Keeping each other motivated, because without the team, we can't push anything. We can't go through this together. So this is where we are at now. I'm sure many of us can relate. This is what our team meetings look like, even for a simple birthday celebration. And this is where we were at before March 2020, right? So where have we gone? So what's the first thing that we did in terms of sales, right? We needed to identify together which businesses, which industries could operate, and what could they use GoGet for, right? And then make sure that they know this. So during the pandemics, we have realized that, especially the first one, convenience stores, grocery stores, F&B takeaways, online e-commerce guys, healthcare, these were the industries that could work, right? Understanding that and understanding that the rest could not operate, we zeroed in our focus on these categories. Of course, things have changed, and this process was always iterated as we went along, because there were always different conditions. But what could they use us for? Predominantly, these businesses needed help to deliver items. They were looking to GoGetters as their lifeblood, the last mile, the person that can help complete the chain of sale for them. So dispatch deliveries, actually, in the 3 or 4 MCOs that we've been through, I've lost count, we have seen dispatch go up. And every time things open up, dispatch will drop. And our other side, which is the helper, general helper, sales promoter, sales agents, would go up, right? And on the other side, which helpers, because GoGet is not only a dispatch company, we also provide manpower when they require. So things like scopes like kitchen staff, packers, picker packers, floor staff, and just general labor. This is where we saw demand growing during this time, and we zeroed in on that, right? So the first step was identifying the industries that can open and what they use us for, a process which we iterated over the last year and a half. Then the next thing we needed to do is ensure that our delivery, which was or dispatch, which is the hottest item on our platform, was serving our customers well. So there was lots of improvements that we made within the span of 1 month to ensure that our businesses and our general users were having a good experience on GoGet, right? Where prior to the MCO, prior to that, we were looking at much longer on-demand delivery times. But now, post-MCO, we're actually looking at deliveries where you can get a GoGetter to your place, to your office, to your house in 13 minutes. That was the average. And for a 5 km delivery, on average, we took about 38 minutes, right? It could be sending cakes, it could be sending clothes, anything. For 5 km, we're looking at about 38 minutes, which is very fast, right? If we can relate to food deliveries that we are used to, this is expected, and we got there. We also pushed out a lot of SOPs to keep our community safe, contactless deliveries, right? We had to ensure that our GoGetters were being protected. They were not being exposed to anybody who may be at risk. So we pushed contactless deliveries to ensure our GoGetters are safe. Next, we had cashless. So we have GoGet credits, and we pushed that very hard, right? Because when you pass cash, there is also a risk. And lastly, we zeroed in and we focused on jobs which were allowed, and we deprioritized on our platform jobs which were not allowed. Things like sales agents, promoters, flyer distributors, all these were not hot or not allowed during that time, during MCOs, and therefore we deprioritized them. So we did things like this to keep our community safe. We also helped our SMEs, not only understanding who can use it, but we also went down on the ground. We pushed out a promo code campaign to our users, right, to help them alleviate their costs. We push integration, right, automating their deliveries. This is something that we work very closely with a lot of partners so that they can have faster turnaround times for their deliveries and get more sales to their platform. Partnership. So we worked with Doctor On Call. That's one example. Store Hub, to boost the number of jobs on our platform and to also help them scale their businesses when they require it. Lots of education that we did to both our communities, because we need to make sure that they're safe. And to date, actually, we have had a very high success rate of our GoGetters staying safe until today. And lastly, we slashed our business packages. So for a business, they usually will have to pay 10% management fee during our MCOs, especially for the first and second. We remove this because we understand that this is a cost to businesses. We take it out, it's fine, but at least you get to save this cost, and now you can push it on to your staff who may need it more. So these are some of the things that we did. And then we pushed on, like I mentioned, a lot of integrated partners. We started off the MCO with just a handful, and we have grown to quite a number. And these are just some of the partners, things like cakes, groceries, even electronics, our telcos. These are all integrated partners whereby their e-commerce platform has already been automated with their GoGet account. So any delivery that goes through from their e-commerce will go straight to a GoGetter, no human in between. All right. Understanding also. So these are some of the things that we are building for the future. Understanding that in the MCO, a lot of businesses are saying, hey, I have been scaling up with your GoGetters. I like them, but I don't want anyone to come in to do my job. So we've actually enhanced our favorite GoGetter feature, whereby if a business likes a GoGetter, they can favorite them. So once they favorite them, any jobs in the future, it can be sent directly to that team of GoGetters or to a single GoGetter, right? This builds familiarity, this builds safety, and this also builds the confidence businesses have with our GoGetters as well, right? And also, these businesses now have a little team of part-timers that they can push jobs to at any time. We also have this thing called Train GoGetters, which is a system that we have called Train and Build. So for businesses which require that little bit more from the part-timer, of them knowing what to do when they come in, knowing who to report to, what are the SOPs in place, businesses can actually now train a group of GoGetters, right? Once they are trained, they will be in a trained team. Every time the business requests or has a shift, right? I need 2 pickers and packers every day for the next 1 month, right? These jobs will go to their team, the trained team of GoGetters. And lastly, they can manage and pay online from our system. There's no need to hand cash, right? Stay safe. Everything is done and paid via GoGet credits. So these were just some learnings as we went through the MCOs. Businesses were saying that I need to build familiarity, I need to build SOPs, I need the same guys coming in or same ladies coming into my business. And these are some of the features that we have built moving forward into the new norm to serve businesses better, to stay safe as well, right? So this is our train and build feature. We also had a little, we also pushed out in our home and life. Home and life is our general posters, right? Shabita, myself, Wanding, we are part of the home and life category using GoGet for our personal use. So we have Shop with GoGet, right? So we partner up with malls to have their stores listed on GoGet. And then every time a customer goes onto GoGet and they need to buy groceries from, I don't know, a village grocer, right? They can just put down their shopping list onto our system, and then a personal shopper will then pick up the items and either wait for you and you can drive through to pick up, or deliver it to your doorstep, right? So GoGetters are also your personal shoppers for our home and life users. Yep, so this is our Shop with GoGet feature, just a very light sharing. We created this as part of our home and life product, whereby people can actually now use GoGetters as their personal shoppers, buy food, buy their groceries. We have seen a lot of electronics, IKEAs on our platform as well. So a lot of people have been buying their furniture, especially before Raya, before Chinese New Year. We saw an uptake of IKEA furniture sales on GoGet. There's no commission that we take, because our motivation here would be we are creating an ecosystem for businesses and our GoGetters. Our GoGetters are your personal shopper. Our businesses will then get the sale, and that is the idea of this product. right? On the GoGetter side, so how did we actually scale? Previously, before MCO, we were doing our training, onboarding GoGetters, all face-to-face. Obviously, when MCO hit, we can't do that. So rather than just stopping there, our supply team actually digitized the whole training and onboarding process of GoGetters. So previously, we were at about 300 GoGetters a month. But with this, where I can actually even train up to 200 or even more a day, depending on how much we need to scale up. When there's more demand on our platform, we need to scale up, then we can get more GoGetters in, right? So this helped us, of course, to scale to meet our demand. It was more agile for us. We could adapt our training materials easier, right? Add new modules into our training faster, things like staying safe, contactless deliveries, what should you do? And of course, we've gone completely digital. Yeah, and this is just an example, a picture of our GoGetter community. And the bottom line here is that during the pandemic, we had to scale our GoGetters to meet demand, and we digitized that process. And in doing so, we actually grew our GoGetter base by 10,000 to now over 30,000 we have today. Yeah. So that's just some of the things, some of the strategies that we employed, some of the basic fundamentals that we have learned to build new features for what our businesses would require post-pandemic. So just a quick summary before we jump on to the fireside chat. So why GoGet? Basically, our GoGetter quality. We pride ourselves on that. As you can understand now, we have systems in place to manage our GoGetters. Our technology, we are actually very much tech-enabled, automated-enabled, and we hope to bring businesses along this journey of automation together with us. We're not just dispatch, we are also your manpower. We can be your additional pairs of hands when you require, right? So there was a little goodie for everyone who's on this call. So I'm just going to flash this here. I believe work will send this to you as well. But you have 30 ringgit to try us, to scale your operations, or even to just use this for your home and life need. To get a personal shopper to help you buy items, you can use this promo code WORK30, where you get 10 ringgit off 3 jobs. Yeah. Okay. So these are my details, and yeah, let's jump onto the fireside chat now.
All right. Thank you so much, Faisal. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Very good. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have goodies, just as what Faisal has shared. So 30 ringgit off for you guys to try them out, and we will be sending them to you in our closing email when you receive them through the email address that you have registered for the event. So don't worry, those codes will come to you guys, and you can all try them out. And yeah, so I think it really is inspiring to see how you guys have pivoted and how you guys have digitized a lot of things. And you know, I think the best way to say is to help yourselves out, because I think a lot of times we rely on a lot of resources to help us out. And of course, when the first MCO hit, everybody was in shock, and it took a longer time to bounce back up. But I think the numerous MCOs have taught us well, and taught us that we have to basically stand on our own feet, and there's no right strategy to put in place. And every MCO, there's something new. I mean, the lockdown is not really something new, but the guidelines that are ever just consistently changing, I think that's the word. And, you know, being put in such a situation where you need to keep your communities, like you said, the 2 different communities, the GoGetters as well as the businesses that use you guys, happy as well as safe, is indeed a challenge. And to be able to grow during that time and to put to full use what people need, instead of saying, hey, no, this is my business focus and, you know, I don't know what to do, but instead, you know, what is the market demanding right now, and I would need to pivot to that, would really then, you know, show that you guys are strategizing, and you have to keep strategizing in that way, you know, to keep doing well. So if I would ask you, where do you see the on-demand workforce, like your GoGetters, your bread and butter, right? In the next 3 to 5 years, and you know, how has GoGet actually prepared for that?
Yeah. So we do have a very big vision, and that vision would be I mean, just imagine you're walking down a mall, you know, or Petaling Street, or any retail outlet, right? And you look to your left or right, and the vision would be for us is that when you look to the left or right, the stores that you see, or the businesses that you see, there will be a fraction of these staff as go-getters, as an on-demand workforce, right? And that is the vision whereby businesses are now scaling up, and part of their workforce are actually on demand, and it comes from a platform like us. Warehouses, right? Another one will also, we believe, have an on-demand workforce, simply because right now peaks or sales peaks happen a lot more than it used to, right? We have these giants like Lazada, Shopee, who've come on, they have 11.11, so 12.99, and businesses now need to be a lot more agile than where they used to be, right? And being agile will give them the ability to scale up and down whenever they need. So that is the big vision for businesses. But on the other side, not forgetting our go-getters and the communities, that community that we serve, we also envision an app for them whereby they are doing jobs when and what they want to do, who they want to do it for. They can do it for an IKEA, they can do it for a Bloomdis, they can do a dispatch, they can even learn how to put together a bouquet, right? So it can be a myriad of tasks. On the go-getter side, they can just wake up and decide what they want to do today, and then skill themselves up and also earn whilst doing so. So that is basically the vision of where we are driving towards in the near future.
Right. Okay. I mean, while we're on that, then what is the future of work look like? What does the future of work look like for GoGet in terms of diversification, your change in business model? What does the future look like for you guys?
Yeah, I think so. Where we are at now, we are already a platform where you can book all sorts of different tasks. Like I shared, we have dispatch, we have on-demand help, but moving forward, we do see that we will need to grow this vision, right? And right now we are already available in Penang, JB, Selangor, right, Klang Valley. But in terms of growth, in terms of the future of work, we really are looking at two pillars to increase this vision, right? The first pillar would be our geographic footprint. Looking at Malaysia, how can we help businesses in Kelantan, in Ipoh, scale up when they need, right? Regional expansion is also in the pipeline. Of course, post-pandemic, because it's a little bit hard now to figure things out, even go across to the border. But our local footprint is something that we are looking at, geographic footprint. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar actually would be service breadth, right? Being the app where go-getters can scale up, can get jobs, and for businesses to get a go-getter within seconds and to have him or her in their office in minutes, right? So, I mean, the potential pains that a business we could solve would be, hey, my staff is not here. He's sick or she's sick. Where do I go? Do I go Facebook? Do I call? What do I do? I go to GoGet, right? I'll get someone to come into my office really quickly and to help me with what I need them to help me with. Right. So yeah, just to reiterate, it is basically these two key pillars that we're looking at to move forward this vision of future of work.
Right. And I think that really is something that you can really see moving forward, because with the gig economy growing and also the community growing and people understanding the need of having these I mean, in your terms, go-getters to come in and help on a daily basis, a weekly basis, or jobs that you don't need to hire full time, or jobs that you need a quick turnaround or replacement immediately. To have those expertise on board as go-getters will definitely place you guys at the forefront, because that's what people look for and look at when they go to not to say an app, but if they want to collaborate with a business and a partnership with a business. I think that is really important to know that that service level, that expertise level is there, and to know that you guys have that in your vision, and you have a short-term plan and you have a long-term plan, and you know that your plan will consistently change, but you're up for that. It really is something commendable for a business, and I really think you guys are doing that well from what I'm seeing.
Thank you. I think on that note, I mean, just if you don't mind, I think a lot of businesses actually are already using an on-demand workforce, whether they know it or not. at a very basic level,
Mm-hmm.
it would be the dispatch guy is now
Yep.
a go-getter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sending an item or parcel or check deposit or whatnot. So at a very basic level, actually, a lot of businesses are already using some form of on-demand workforce.
Yeah.
Right. I think where we are looking at is not to replace existing staff, but when you need that additional help,
Correct.
where can you go, right?
Yeah.
And what other forms of on-demand workforce can now a business take on to scale their business? Right now, the basic level, they're scaling all their sales channels and using GoGetters to deliver, right? But what beyond that, what else can they do? And an example of this would be our good friends at Bloomdis. So GoGetters are their last mile delivery provider, but during peak seasons like Valentine's Day, they would use GoGetters to help to put together a bouquet. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So they train them to put together a bouquet. The GoGetter learns a new skill, and they scale up the operations because their staff is not enough. They just don't have enough manpower, right? So I mean, just on that line of touching on the point that you were sharing, this is just some quick thoughts that I had.
Right. Understand. And I guess that's very true. So to be able to provide that kind of a workforce is something that businesses will ever need. I mean, not to replace them, like you said, but the need to consistently have these kind of backups and plans that for rainy days and for days that you really need extra hands or extra assistance, you would need somewhere to look for, and to be there in people's mind that you can look for go-getters, and these are actually professionals, and these are actually people that can help me out in any type of job that I need. It's a platform that can provide me with those things. So definitely something that's commendable, I'd say.
Thank you.
So if we would have, before we go into the Q&A, I just wanted to know, like, for businesses that are struggling to operate as usual, or that have to pivot more than they have prepared for, what would be your one piece of advice?
Oh, I definitely can share some quick learnings that I have had based on my experience in GoGet, but also handling all those inbound customers that we've had to work with through their digitizing process, right? So I would say the first thing is, of course, you have to be brave. Going into the new norm would require new skills, require new tech, and require new processes. So being brave and understanding that and going for it rather than sitting down, like you said, and waiting for things to happen would be the first point that I have learned. And I've also seen other businesses that we have dealt with have a hone. The second thing would be digitization is not as scary as we think. Even as a tech company, we have also had to digitize certain processes in order for us to grow. I have worked with cake companies. I have worked with F&B guys who've never done delivery before, and now they are churning out a lot of orders, at least to keep their business going. And automation and digitization then came into this, right? And they had to learn. So digitization is not as scary. I would say that embrace it, and it can guide you through the new norm. And the last thing I've learned, and this is quite a funny one. Some may disagree with me. Would be actually, I would say that when you create a new process, when you try something totally new, don't go full force. Always learn, understand the process. Go small, understand the pains that you have, iterate, and then only go in scale. So we've had two types of businesses, one who just went hard all the way, and then one who went, okay, I'm going to start geographically here, and I'm going to scale up, right? Both, there's no right or wrong. But of course, if you have the luxury, process iteration is always an important part to pivot, right? When you pivot your business. So I would say those are three things actually, which I could share with everyone on the call.
I totally second whatever you just said. I guess for different businesses, like you said, it's different. Whether you go big or you start small, but there's no right way to do it. But I guess that's where your strategy comes in place, right? That's where you look at what you have and where you're headed and see which fits your best, which best fits your picture and suits your business. And then, you make a decision based on that. It's all calculated. You can never be completely right during this time because looking at all the MCOs that we've had, I don't think anything has been completely right all the way. And we all just learn from that, from having a total lockdown to, partial lockdown, and then different types of lockdowns and different types of regulations, different types of rules that come in and go. Businesses have now more than ever been used to change, quick changes in their business that I think once we're done with this, we'll all be professionals that know how to pivot at any time of the day. And we can say we've survived this pandemic then.
Yes, for sure. Once this is over, all of us should wave that we survived. We went through it. Business-wise, personally, it's been one ride, right? But yes, for sure. Totally aligned with you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's just take some questions from the floor. There's some questions. So, how to train go-getters for specific company? This is from
Classic Dust Stuff.
Thanks. That's the name, but okay.
Thanks. Sorry, I don't have your name, but so how do you train, right? How do you train go-getters? So we actually have a product called Train and Build, which is what I shared earlier. With this, you will work very closely with the GoGet team, myself and my teammate, who will help you bring to life a training session, and then subsequently managing training and then managing your team of part-timers. So this is something where it's more on a relationship level. And later I'll just put my name, telephone number, and email. You can reach out to me, just drop me a note, and then we can take it on from there. What usually happens is that we will get on a call with you, understand what you need, assess whether it requires train and build, or do you just need general help from our platform. And if it's train and build, then we will bring you through the process. Usually it will take about 2 to 3 weeks to get a trained pool of go-getters up for you to start scaling your business. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We've got another one from Perez, and his question is, how do you ensure that the go-getters are not running illegal activities? And if you have instances of this, how do you deal with them?
Yeah, we have had this in the past. So go-getters, firstly, it goes back down to the basics of what we do. They, of course, when you say illegal activities, there's many, it's such a wide scope. So I'm just going to zero into our no drugs policy, right? I'm just going to zero into that. So go-getters are trained already at the start when they come in to always look out for suspicious posters. Posters, as a business community or just generally anyone's posting a job, to look out for any anomalies, right? If you do report the job, okay, when you report the job, our customer service team will take over. They'll look into your report. You're allowed to cancel it if you don't feel comfortable, and then carry on with your daily activities. This poster will then have to find another dispatcher, right? And then we will also take, once you've reported the job, we will also look into the person who has posted that, and to see what the issue was and why was there a suspicion of an illegal item. We have also had instances, I mean, it's not often, but just sharing one from the top of my head, whereby a go-getter may have delivered something which was illegal. That will be a police case immediately, right? If it's conclusive. And this is where the speed to which our CS team can come in to help tackle the issue will be key. And we have a strong CS team on the ground to at least cope or look into these kind of issues that when they come in.
Right. So I guess that it works on both ends. So the one that's posting the job will also be screened, and the ones that are carrying out the job, the go-getters as well, will also be screened.
Correct.
And you have a process in place to look out for both ends.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. I hope that answers your question, Perez. Malcolm has got 2 questions. So does GoGet have any presence in East Malaysia?
Okay, so I see both questions. The next one is, will there be any possibility to collaborate, right, with another startup? So I'll answer the first one. We don't have a presence yet. It's in the pipeline to grow regionally across Malaysia. But yes, do we have any possibility to collaborate? Definitely. there's a saying that if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go big, you go together, right? And we have a very collaborative spirit in GoGet. And yes, Malcolm, happy to have a chat with you. Again, I'll leave my contact details and just drop me a note or WhatsApp. Yeah,
We
no
will
problem.
help you connect as well. No
Thank
worries.
you. Thank you.
All right. And then we've got 2 questions from Zishan as well. So would you be able to add the LinkedIn links or any experience info of GoGetters to easily find the best one?
That's a good question. So we are building right now our GoGetter profile with the experiences that they have had. So Go-Getters can earn badges, they can earn and they can earn skills, and then this will be tagged to their profile, right? One of the future visions that we have, of course, is matching the right poster to the right Go-Getter. Poster, i.e. a business or a general user, to the right Go-Getter, right? So if someone has done sales jobs and another person posts a job for a sales agent, this job will then be seen predominantly by that person who has done lots of sales promoted jobs in the past on GoGet, right? So LinkedIn may be a step too far, but what we are building internally would be the GoGetter profile, which we are enhancing with their experiences. We do have that right now on a basic level, but we are building it more to a level which I think would answer Zishan's question.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, he has another question on innovation to streamline the pickup and the deliveries for the riders and customers. Any automation over there?
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to try and answer this in how I understand it. So we have our APIs. Any business right now can integrate their e-commerce store with their GoGet account. Now, what is the benefit of this? The benefit of this is that human, which was used to post the jobs in between, or book a rider or book a go-getter, doesn't need to do that. They can do other things, right, as part of your supply chain. So we have our APIs. It is readily available for everybody. Of course, at pickup and at delivery, there are actions that go-getters can take, which you can then take to automate your process as a business. For example, if a go-getter has delivered the item, that he or she will mark the job as completed on your e-commerce site. You can then take that and then send an SMS or update your e-commerce to tell your customer, hey, the item has been delivered, right? So on a basic level, we have our APIs readily available. If you want to find out more, happy to chat separately.
Yeah. So that means businesses can just integrate whatever system that they're using then to send these notifications and their back end tracking.
Yeah, correct. They can connect, link up, and then everything will be seamless and automated. Yeah.
All right. Great. I think that answers all the questions. Does anyone else have any questions? I think Bart has also tried answering the questions in the chat. So thank you for that. Yeah, I guess. Any more questions from the floor?
Yes, please feel free to ask me, guys.
We are nicely right on time.
Yes.
For an hour session.
Perfect. One of the learnings of MCO, always have your calls end on time. So I think we've done a good job.
Yes. So the attention span helps with the information. Right. Samson says amazing presentation. Right. Indeed. Very, very short and sweet. And you really took us through the business and how you guys have pivoted and strategized, re-strategizing, and how to be on your feet, how to match what the demand is, and pivot your business according to that. So I think that would really be helpful for a lot of businesses. We of course can't apply everything that you have applied, but I think to be able to pick out the points on how to gauge what the market needs, how to pivot your business, how to put in plans, small plans, and then grow them, or whatever that's necessary to keep the business growing. I think and looking at it from a very community perspective of how your business, the businesses that are giving you business, is important, as well as those that are supporting your businesses, like the GoGetters, are really important. So I think that's really great, and I really love the community support that you're doing and that you're giving. You guys are doing great, and we seriously wish you all the best. So thank you so much. It was really indeed an insightful session. So any more questions, you guys can actually send them over to us. I think Faisal has also left his email address there. But if there's anything else, you can reach out to us, the team, with the email address that you signed up. You would have definitely had all our contact details there. and we will just pass them over to GoGet. So don't forget the promo code as well.
Yep.
We will be sending that to you guys via email.
Yes.
Yep.
That's it.
So
right
yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. So do watch out for more events of leading leaders, and we will be talking to a lot more leaders who are helping to build the industry, build their businesses as well. So thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Shabita.
guys.
Thanks,
Faisal.
team. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.
Stay safe, guys.
Yeah. All the best.
Indeed. Right.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.